Rome's forgotten crop. Rotation could save your garden, and honestly, maybe even the planet. There's a reason your soil keeps getting tired no matter how much fertilizer you throw at it. That reason is the same one ancient Roman farmers solved 2,000 years ago, long before organic gardening became a trend. Their fields kept producing for centuries without synthetic chemicals, without soil burnout, and without the constant battle against nutrient depletion modern growers know all too well. The real twist? Their secret still works today, often better than the chemical-heavy shortcuts we've come to rely on. Why did chemical-free farming work for Rome? Well, when you dive into Roman agricultural history, something becomes instantly clear. They didn't skip chemicals because they were primitive. They skipped them because they didn't need them. The Roman mind understood nature as a system, not a machine. Their goal wasn't to force crops out of the ground, but to keep the soil alive and healthy so food could grow naturally, year after year. Instead of synthetic fertilizers, they built soil richness using plants themselves. They learned that rotating crops restored the land, especially when legumes followed heavy feeders like cereals. They figured out that fallowing land allowed organic matter to break down and recharge the soil. They didn't know the term nitrogen fixation, but they knew their beans and peas mysteriously boosted fertility. They weren't guessing, they were observing, experimenting, and refining a method that quietly outperformed many modern chemical-driven systems. How did Rome's rotation system keep soil forever fertile? The beauty of the Roman rotation wasn't complexity, it was simplicity that worked. Their core method mixed 3 ingredients: a cereal crop, a legume crop, and a fallow period. It created a self-repairing soil cycle. Cereals pulled nutrients up. Legumes restored nitrogen. The fallow let nature rebuild what was lost. This cycle kept Roman soils productive for generations. Archaeological studies of former Roman farmland show surprising resilience, you know. In many places, ancient soils remained richer than nearby fields that were repeatedly exposed to chemical-intensive modern agriculture. Rome didn't need nitrogen pellets or synthetic boosters because they were tapping into biology's original system for soil renewal. If you garden today, you're playing by the same rules, just with different technology. But biology hasn't changed, really. Soil still responds best to diversity, rest, and organic inputs. That's exactly the Roman recipe. What modern farming forgot that Rome remembered? Ask most gardeners what the biggest challenge is, and you'll hear the same things again and again. Depleted soil, weak plants, pests, and the ongoing chase for more fertilizer. Yet the Romans treated these issues at the root, not the symptom. They integrated livestock into their farming system so manure continually cycled back into the soil. They added compost long before it had a name. They irrigated smartly using gravity-fed channels to avoid erosion. Their farms weren't fields, they were ecosystems. Every component served another. Nothing was wasted. Everything supported life. This is the opposite of modern chemical farming, which focuses on extracting yield while ignoring the soil's natural balance. The result is predictable: declining fertility, increasing dependence on purchased inputs and soil that becomes poorer with each passing year. Rome's farmers built fertility as they grew food. Modern farming too often mines it. Were Roman yields massive? No, but they were astonishingly stable. They didn't collapse after a decade. They didn't require constant tweaking. And they didn't degrade the land. A Roman farm could produce food for centuries because the farmers weren't chasing maximum harvests at the cost of soil life. They were harvesting within nature's limits. This is where the Roman approach beats chemical agriculture hands down. Nature, you know, really prefers steady abundance over short-lived abundance. The Romans played the long game, and well, their land rewarded them. These days, regenerative growers and home gardeners are honestly rediscovering that taking care of the soil gives you healthier plants, better flavour, and more predictable harvests, all without the chemical roller coaster. So, how can you use Roman principles in your own garden? Well, you don't need ancient tools, livestock herds, or even acres of farmland to garden like a Roman. You just need to adopt their mindset. Feed the soil, not the plant. Start by rotating your crops. If you grow tomatoes in one bed this year, plant beans or peas there next year. Follow legumes with leafy greens or root crops. Let a bed rest every so often with a thick layer of mulch or a cover crop, letting nature quietly rebuild what was lost. Add organic matter constantly. Compost, shredded leaves, grass clippings and kitchen scraps. These are your modern versions of Roman soil boosters. They break down slowly, enriching your soil while improving structure and moisture retention. Use water wisely. Romans understood that healthy soil holds water naturally. They irrigated gently, encouraging deep roots and resilient plants. Apply water slowly at the base of plants and protect your soil with mulch so it stays cool and moist. So think of your garden as a living system, not just a production line. That's, well, the Roman secret. Once you adopt this mindset, everything in your garden starts improving, from the soil texture to the taste of your crops, and really to the overall productivity. Every year, more gardeners are leaving behind the quick fixes and rediscovering what the Romans knew by instinct. Chemicals might create fast results, but they don't create lasting soil. And without healthy soil, gardening becomes a constant uphill battle. Gardening the Roman way means gardening with nature, not against it. Your plants grow stronger, your yields stabilize, your soil gets better, not worse, and you gain a deeper connection with what you grow. At Timeless Crops Haven, that's exactly the kind of gardening we're passionate about. Simple, sustainable, proven for thousands of years, and absolutely within your reach. If you found this guide helpful, make sure you subscribe to Timeless Crops Haven and share this with a fellow gardener who's ready to ditch chemicals and garden the way nature and the Romans intended.